Rye Group goes all in on HVO fuel. Doosan's transparent bucket technology is a clear winner. Trimble carries out the ultimate test of autonomous equipment control. And we speak to a man who believes the solution to dust control during an explosive demolition event is a man-made Category 5 Hurricane on wheels. All that and more on the Weekend Wrap. Now, if you were here on Friday, you might recall that we brought you a sneak preview of a new film we were working on with the fine folks at Rye Group. You might also recall that the company has just taken delivery of 3 new Caterpillar excavators that will run exclusively on HVO fuel to support Rye Group's Sustainable Standard initiative. Well, as promised, the full-length film is now finished and it's ready to lay before your eye holes. We have seen, played with and reported on a lot of impressive technology. And while the name is just a little misleading, one of the most impressive pieces of technology is surely the transparent bucket system from those clever people at Doosan. Let's just remind you of the system and what it can do.
Here is another way to tie a work boot or shoe if you have a particular pressure point somewhere. So, pass the lace through like this, making sure that the lengths are even. Then simply continue to crisscross the lace until you reach the pressure point. In this instance, shall we say it's a particularly high instep here. What we then do is pass the lace through the eyelet above on both sides, and you can continue this until you pass the pressure point. Once you have passed the pressure point, simply continue with the crisscross lacing and then pull the boot tight. What you will see is that you then create a gap or a space where the pressure point is, meaning that the boot can flex more easily, reducing the pressure from the crossovers on the particular pressure point.
Have you ever looked at an explosive demolition event and thought, wow, that was impressive, but what about all that dust? I know I have, and last night I spoke to someone else that has too. This is an issue that's been targeted before, of course. There is a system that effectively uses a timed fountain to blast water into the air to hopefully trap the dust particles and bring them safely back down to Earth. But the man I spoke to last night is thinking bigger, much bigger. We have kept people waiting long enough. What exactly is this solution that you devised?
So the solution is called pyronemesis, and it is a method, a patented method of taking water droplets and driving them terrific distances using a jet engine powered vehicle. So I'm using a logging skidder because both fires and death suppression incidents take place in areas that are, hard to access. So a logging skidder can get just about anywhere. And then we use jet engines to drive atomized water into the air to create essentially a Category 5 hurricane on wheels. And this allows us to deliver a tremendous amount of water to the air so that as you're dropping a coal tower, for instance, and you're generating all this silicate dust and other nasty chemicals, we can bind them and precipitate them within 20 seconds of a demolition. We can do an 80 to 100,000 gallon rainstorm right over the site and drop, all the things that you'd prefer not to breathe, and that other people, if they do breathe, will likely sue you.
Yep, you heard that right. A man-made Category 5 hurricane on wheels. There is a longer version of that interview going through our editing process as we speak. So watch this space for that. That will either be today or first thing tomorrow. So keep watching this space. The Mon Expo show in Las Vegas has just closed its doors, and I'm still cursing my luck that I wasn't actually there as I'd originally intended. My hotel was booked and everything. Watching from afar, it was clear that there were many key announcements from the likes of Caterpillar, Liebherr, and as you just saw, Komatsu, among many others. Now, while the construction sector is still debating the potential for autonomous machine control, the mining sector implemented it years ago. In fact, autonomous Caterpillar trucks have hauled well in excess of 3 billion tons of material across 17 mines without incident or injury. Just as a small aside, those trucks have almost travelled, although they've actually travelled an astonishing 68.3 million miles. That's enough for a straight line round trip to Mars. Of course, mines are ideally suited to perfecting autonomous operations. They're generally tucked away, sparsely populated, and mining operations tend to be both predictable and repetitive, and best of all, the machines move comparatively slowly. But what if you wanted to really test the capabilities of autonomous machine control? Well, the boffins at Trimble have done just that, and this is how they did it.